Okay, I'm going to push record. All right, so we are recording. So this is Sunday, May 14th, 2017. This is our team huddle, and just super glad that everybody is hopping on, whether you're watching this live or recorded. So tonight I do want to have a little bit of time for just some interaction. If you're in a place where the background's really noisy and you're like, I just probably can't chat or comment, that's totally fine. But if you are in a place where you can, answer or give, just some input, that would be great. But I really just wanted to start out the call by telling you all that I'm really, really excited for all that's happening, and what I see and feel is building in this team. And one of the things that I want to just encourage you guys on is just really a statement that Tara Brandsma shared at GTC that I'm just really kind of holding tight to, and I would love for all of us as a team to just embrace it. And what she said was to ignore the evidence, ignore maybe the numbers that you see, and not that we're not going to pay attention to our web stats numbers or maybe even the bookings on our calendar right now, but just ignore and stop focusing exactly on what you see right now, and just believe for the exponential growth that can happen and that it will happen for you, because it absolutely is coming. When I think of this team, I really see you all as like what I was trying to think of, like, how would I describe you all? It's really a VP dynasty. That's kind of how I see it, where it's just massive VP teams and your VPs that are raising up VPs who are raising up VPs. That's really what I see. And so I just want to encourage you guys tonight and this week as we engage in our business, just to see yourself as a VP, to act as a VP before you get paid as one. That's really important, is to act as if before the paycheck comes. And one of the tips I wanted to give you guys on that for tonight was just start putting up cards around your house, maybe little Post-it notes or sticky notes or index cards. I saw Peyton Mott. I think she did a little Facebook Live on this, and she just showed, like, on her bathroom mirror, I think she had like 5 or 6 Post-it notes. And one of them said, I'll be a national vice president in 2017. And she completed that just last month in April. And so, she said, like, I kind of knew it would happen at some point. She's like, I definitely, even struggled to believe that it could happen in 2017, and to be able to happen in the first quarter obviously surpassed her expectations. But just having that and to see it and reiterate it. So writing things on there like, I am a regional vice president, or I'm an executive national vice president, but having it to do with a VP level, even before you're there, before you're paid as it, before you even feel like you have the team, or you do have the team to be at that level. Okay. So just kind of helping you, be encouraged on what I see and what's coming and what's building. And we're going to talk about that tonight, because a lot of that comes down and I guess kind of gets paired back to choices. And, I've definitely been sharing a lot lately about choices, and we all have the choice, to do lots of different things every day for our business. And so one of the quotes that I really loved was this quote right here that just says, in any given moment, we have 2 options. We can step forward into growth, or we can step back into safety. And I thought that was just so applicable for our businesses and for our, our lives, but particularly our businesses, because in every moment of every day, we can decide, and we have really a choice in that moment of, do I want to put effort into my business? Do I want to initiate a conversation? Do I want to reach out to somebody? Do I want to be bold and ask, the barista at Starbucks if they have ever heard of Arbonne, because they just gave fantastic service, or bringing it up when you're with people? Or we can take a step back into just comfort. It says safety, but I feel like many times it's just a step back into comfort, a step back into procrastination, a step back into, I'll do it tomorrow, or, oh, I don't want to make it uncomfortable, or, oh, I don't feel prepared, or, whatever those reasons, or excuses can be. that just keep us from moving forward. So I just want you guys to remember that you always have that choice. And really, as we move into the mid-month, you are at a critical point in your month. Mid-month is always a critical point in the month, because this is where you can turn your business one way or the other. Okay, so this is the point in the month where you either decide that you make the choice to go to fulfill every goal that you set out to fulfill on May 1st. Because on May 1st, everyone is full of excitement, full of energy, full of, brand new month, brand new opportunity, brand new goals. And between day 1 and now we're on day 14, if things haven't gone as you had hoped, you can find yourself in a place of feeling like, maybe this isn't going to happen. Maybe my goals are too big. Maybe I'm not going to find the team that I thought I was going to find this month. And that's where I want you guys to just really kind of capture those thoughts and kind of stop speaking those things over your business, and choose to make it everything that you wanted this month to be, because you have the choice to do that. Or you have the choice to let the busyness of your days and every valid reason, which is really excuses, that comes in your way, keep you from having the goals that you set out for May. Okay, so you're really kind of, when we talk in life about coming to kind of like a fork in the road, mid-month is always a fork in the road. And what I see oftentimes is I can pretty much tell where people are going to end their month based on the decisions and the input and kind of what they decide to do at mid-month. Okay, because at mid-month you still have plenty of time to accomplish your goals. Anybody right now that is a consultant, if you are a 0, you can get to 6,000 or 10,000 in your month QV in the next 2.5 weeks. You absolutely can. Becoming a district manager in 2.5 weeks with Arbonne is not crazy. It happens all the time. Getting into first step qualification for area happens, often in this business in that short amount of time. So you just get to decide. And, you guys have heard this before, and, I'm just going to say it again. You can either have your goals and your dreams, or you can have your excuses, but we can never have both. Okay. So this is a business that has always been and will always be a direct result of the simple daily choices and disciplines that we make. That's one of the things that I love about the book that we're going to get into starting next week, that I'm going to talk just briefly about, called Take the Stairs, because it's all about helping us start to implement principles that will not only guard our focus, but keep us from death by distraction. Because, the distractions that we face, they're good. Many times they're good distractions. It's our jobs, it's our families, it's our community involvement, it's our churches, it's working out, it's all those things that are good things. But if we don't guard that focus and put some parameters in place, we will end up having death to our business, which is death to our dreams, death to our goals, simply by distraction. So what I want you guys to think about, because I did bring this up in one of the live videos earlier this month, is, we are right about the thoughts that we have. So what do you want to be right about? So you set out goals that you had for the beginning of this month. Do you want to be right about those goals? Do you want to be right that you're going to find business partners between now and the end of the month? Do you want to be right that you're going to be able to find people who will book events with you, who will sample the products, who will do a 20-minute overview with you? Do you want to be right about that? Or do you want to be right about this month isn't going to go how you thought? This month you can't get things on your calendar, because whatever you want to be right about, you will be right about. It's that whole principle of whether we think that we can or we think that we can't, we're right. Okay. So kind of 2 topics in regards to mid-month and looking over the next 2.5 weeks. What do we want to be focusing on? We want to be focusing obviously on activity, and we want to be focusing on sponsoring. There is nothing in your business that activity won't fix. So just chew on that for a second. There's nothing in your business that activity won't fix. And a full calendar is always more fun than an empty calendar. It just always is. So here's a question that I want to ask you. And this is where I would love some participation. If you were told that you could have a $10,000 check at the end of this month if you got the story of the products and the business in front of 100 people this month? Would you do it? So I want you to think about that. If you were told, if you got an email from Kay Napier, CEO of Arbonne, and she said, I am going to cut $10,000 checks to any consultant who gets the business and the products, so telling the full story, because we marry them together, like Lisa Voorhees says, we don't divorce them. If you got them in front of 100 people, you can write 100 people's names down, would you do it? And if you said, yes, I would do it, what would you do in order to make that happen? So I want you guys to think about that. So does anybody want to like answer and say like, yes, I would do that, and this is what I would do to make that happen?
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'll answer.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just unmuting myself.
Mm-hmm.
My brain is like split in two. I'm like, hell yeah, I would do it. And then it's like, that's not possible. But that is, I mean, that's just what you said. You either, whatever you're right about, you're right about. So I would do it because that, or at least I would give my best effort. And what I would do is I wouldn't sleep probably. Like, I just
like mathematically, to get in front of 100 people, even if someone was at a 0 right now, like they had not told anybody yet, it's 7 people a day for 14 days. And we actually have more than that. We've got 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, so we've got 17 days. So in the next 17 days, you'd have to tell 6 people a day the story. And you'd get a $10,000 check.
No, I hear you.
It's amazing. I think it's amazing. So here's the
question. Am I getting that message from Kate? Like that?
I mean, you might. You just might. And if anybody else wants to chime in, I'd love to hear it. I think everybody would say yes. I think people definitely, have that, probably similar response as Tara of like, heck yeah, and then, oh my gosh, how would I do that? So the question I, felt like we need to kind of chew on a little bit, and some of this can be rhetorical, but it's that thought of, so why are we not telling 6 people a day about this business if we know that this is just a numbers game? This is math. It's not magic. So when we have heard stories, there's multiple stories of people that as a consultant, they become a regional vice president in 45 days or, 3 months. So if we know that that's possible and that's happened multiple times, then, what are the things that are keeping us? And specifically, what are the things that are keeping you from having that level of tenacity in your business? So I guess that's one thing. If you guys are taking some notes, or just kind of jotting down some thoughts, is just to think about for a second, what is keeping me from doing it? Is it belief? Is it belief that you actually would be able to reap that level of a paycheck if you put in the effort? Because I think for some people, they struggle with the question of, is it going to be worth the sacrifice? Is it going to be worth the sacrifice if I sacrifice the time, if I sacrifice the sleep, if I sacrifice, making myself uncomfortable? Is it actually going to yield an $8, $10, $18,000, $38,000 paycheck a month? So I think that can be something that, people need to work through. Just that belief. Is it fear? Is there some fear that's keeping you from really stepping out, really just being bold and asking people? Because I think oftentimes we don't ask people in that way of just next, because we're afraid of their response. We're afraid of being embarrassed. We're afraid of being rejected. We're afraid of what they're going to think of us, and I just want to tell you guys that you have nothing to be afraid of. You just have nothing to be afraid of. And not that you can't, feel the fear, but then we're going to do it anyways. We're going to feel the fear and we're going to do it anyways, because if we let fear determine our actions, we're going to just stay exactly where we are right now. And I don't believe that anybody wants to stay exactly where they are right now. Another, possible reason why we don't go out and tell 100 people in the next 17 days about the business is just, just an attitude of kind of procrastination or avoidance, or letting, the demands of the day really just eat away at our time. And that's one of the things that I love that we're going to work on in the book, Take the Stairs, is he talks about crafting your perfect day and your perfect week. And, he said, obviously, we're not always going to be living our perfect days and our perfect weeks where we know what we're doing at any given time. But he said, you at least have to start mapping it out so that you can move towards it. Because if you don't have it mapped out, you're never going to move towards it. You won't know what a perfect week looks like. I think a lot of times if I was, if we're having conversations and I would ask you all, like, well, what's a perfect day look like? Like, break it down in an hour increment. What does that look like? Oftentimes people are like, ooh, I don't know. I don't know when I would wake up. I don't know what the first thing would be, and we really want to get into very habitual routine, self-disciplined living, because it creates an easier life, and people want an easier life. So we implement those disciplines in order to bring, increase the ease of the life and create that routine. So I just want you guys to be thinking about with the activity, because here's the thing, you guys, you can get $2,000 paychecks a month this month. You can get $5,000 paychecks. You can get $8,000, $10,000, 12, 15. And right now, I would say for the 5 of you on the phone, the primary motivation of this business is a paycheck. And at some point that'll change, and it might become more missional, or it might become, more driven by other things. And I know that there's the time there, but what the paycheck symbolizes is freedom, and freedom to have more choices to do the things that you guys really want to do. And you all said yes to this business because there are other things that you want to be doing other than working full-time jobs or being constrained by, single incomes coming into your home. Okay. So really thinking about that activity, and we're going to kind of talk about some tips of what we want to be doing specifically over the next 24 to 48 hours as we want to, maximize the next 2.5 weeks. So the second kind of component of this is sponsoring. And one of the things that I want you guys to really just have drilled into your subconscious about Arbonne is that sponsoring is the lifeblood of your business, and sponsoring is the indicator of next month's business. Okay, so we want to be running a business where every month we're sponsoring 1 to 3 consultants personally, and we're helping somewhere between 3 and 5 people or more change their brand and become preferred clients of ours. Okay, when Arbonne was running the promotion in March and the 1st of April, where they reduced the consultant account from $79 down to $39, we as a team sponsored around 100 consultants into this team. Okay, so that has slowed down. Everybody, this isn't like shocking news. Everybody knows that this has slowed down in your personal business since the price went back up to $79. Okay, so what I want to ask you all is, do you think people's desire for a side hustle or a bigger discount has changed in the last 30 days? Yes or no? Probably not, right?
No.
It hasn't changed. People still have a desire for extra income, for a side hustle, or a bigger discount. Has people's willingness to say yes changed?
No.
Hasn't changed at all. So it's only slowed down because we've stopped asking as much and we stopped getting as excited. And it's not just this team, it's just across the board. And the reason is because it went back up $40, you all. And this is something like a mental thing that I'm like, if we as a team can really push through this mental hurdle of a $40 difference, we will start sponsoring again, or we will continue to sponsor like we did in March and the 1st of April. And I believe that teams in Arbonne, businesses in Arbonne that continually and consistently sponsor between now and the end of the year, like they did in March and the 1st of April, they will have exponential, ridiculous, monumental growth. Okay. So what I want to take from that $39 kind of discounted promotion, I want us to understand that really should have been, that what we should glean from that is confidence that people want to say yes to this business. What it should give us confidence in is that people are looking for a business opportunity like this. At the very least, people are wanting a discount. Okay, the $79, you guys, people are going to save that almost immediately on their first purchase. And then for the next 12 months, they're going to get this 35 to 50% off discount. Okay, so we want to be really evaluating this belief of what is this account worth? Because here's what I want to ask you all. If Arbonne, and I'm not saying that Arbonne is going to do this, just like Kay Napier is not going to be cutting $10,000 paychecks for people who share with 100 people in the next 17 days. But if Arbonne said, this is $1 million opportunity. We're currently in 7 countries. We're going into the 8th. We have now formulated the #1 skincare line in the market. It's not only the best with results and everything, but oh, by the way, it's coupled with having no toxins, no chemicals. So it's off the charts amazing. So because of that, it's actually increased the value of this business account. So now the business accounts with Arbonne are going to be $279 instead of $79. Like, what would your all's response to that be? And this is like free for all. I'd love to really hear your thoughts. If somebody said, we are now offering business accounts where people can still, in the first 60 to 90 days, become a district manager and $250 to $1,200 a month, it's still a global mobile opportunity with the best products in the market. But now startup cost is going to be $279, and then people buy their products. What would your thoughts be?
I'd freak out.
You'd freak out.
I would, because I know for like somebody like me, I didn't have an extra $300 right then to start it up no matter. Well, my baby's crying, so I'm going to have to mute my... Oh, so sorry.
You're fine. I love you, Amy. All right, what else? What do you all think? Tara, Shauna, Lori?
Yeah, for some reason, it was a mental thing. Like, for some reason, I would probably it would be hard because even now when you say $79, like, I knew compared to other MTMs, like, we spend that at dinner for our family of 6. So, right. But for some reason, the 39, like, it just, people like, oh, it's $220. That, they may have that in their wallet right then. For some reason, it just, PCs, I think the PCs saw it right away. Like, it was a non-event. As soon as I sent it out, they upgraded. Like, right. It was a done deal because I knew they could get their products 15% cheaper consistently. Right. Yep. So that was obviously, most of mine that signed up was just like, yeah, okay. But they still balk at even considering doing it as a business at this point. So I don't know. Awesome. It's hard to get the whole vision. Like, I think the 20 minutes helps, but even so, I remember myself when I signed up, because to me, it was going to be a big commitment to do this because I had done Leah Sophia and it flopped.
Yeah.
I did it for a couple of years. So I knew, okay, if I'm really going to do this, I'm going to do this.
Right.
And I think and then after I got in, I was like, oh, this is like a no-brainer. I get these awesome products and they're way cheaper. And I just tell people, like, it felt, and I look back, but it was so hard at the moment to click that upgrade. And I sense that even with some other folks to do that, like, what do I need to do? It's just, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Getting the picture, people don't get the picture until they're in it for a month or so. And then they realize, like, yeah, this is kind of a no-brainer. And sometimes I just do the math and say, if you're going to buy this every month, you make this money back in 2 months. If you do nothing else but buy these things.
Yeah. Yeah. Tara, Shauna, do you all have any thoughts on it? Arbonne said it's now a startup of 300 for a business.
Yeah, I mean, I think initially my thought was kind of like Amy, like, oh, that sounds terrible. But then, and the flip side of that, like, it kind of just adds a little bit, I don't know, it adds a little bit, it just
More
makes it a little bit
business?
more valuable. Like, it makes it more
That's true.
business-like instead of hobby, like, oh, I have this cute little Arbonne business. And like, if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, it doesn't, because it's $80.
Right.
And I think a lot of people aren't opposed to dropping that to get even to get the consultant account to get the discount. I mean, I had 10 people upgrade or just even sign up as consultants last month. Like 10, like
Right.
it's ridiculous. But they didn't bat an eye at $40 because they were like, it's $40. Like, and I could easily tell them that, like, it's $40. Like, who cares? It's $40. Like, I would give you the $40 if that's all that it's going to take. But, so I think it just, yes, it would make me nervous, but I also think it would just allow people to put a little bit more skin in the game, you know, and it would take away from the idea of like, I don't know, like, is it, like I was visiting yesterday with a girl and, you know, she just kept asking like, but you're going to, like, you would do this with me. Like, you wouldn't just like send me out on my own. Like, you would, like, you're not going to like leave me. And I'm like, no, like, I'm not, yes, I'm going to put you in a boat and I'm going to push you offshore and I'll be like, please.
My phone is soon.
Like, I mean, it's just so crazy, but that's how there's just really such a stigma about what we do because it's so, but it just comes from the unknown. Like everybody that I can get in front of from a 20-minute appointment, whether they want, like, whether they want to have anything to do with it or even try a product. I haven't had anybody that hasn't said, like, what you have shared is incredibly intriguing to me. Like, I am like, no idea. So, it's just that idea. And it's really hard to get someone to see it. But I also think I was also telling this girl yesterday, like 20 years ago, like, who had a personal trainer? Like, dumb.
Right.
Like, nobody had a personal trainer because, like, are you kidding? Like, I'm going to pay you to stand there and count. Like, that's
you're not helping your business, Tara.
I know, I'm sorry, but I'm just being honest. Like,
it's the same.
but it's just like, I just write that's what I'm doing right now. Like, I'm just writing programs for people because I know the system that works and what they should do first, and they don't want to think about it. And now, like, people don't even bat an eye at saying, like, oh, when they ask me, like,
nearly pay you $79 an hour, like an hour.
well, I was just gonna say, they don't bat an eye when they ask how much I am, and I tell them, and they're like, okay. I'm like, well, you can make the check or you can pay me in cash, you know. And they're giving me, yes, I mean, they're giving me many of them are giving me more than that weekly, more than $79. Now I'm helping my business, Lori. Boom.
Shauna, did you have a thought? Shauna, did you have a thought on kind of that?
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing that I know I need to work on. The $79 to me was something that, you know, it's easy to think about when you consider you go to Target and you can look around that store and you can fill your cart up with $79 before you can blink an eye. And I feel like sometimes we overthink that. And I know I've had a lot of girls that are like, oh my gosh, it's $79. I don't know, you know, if I can do this, thinking you sell 2 RE9 skincare sets and you've already made it back. You might take it as more of a true business, but you'd lose that larger reach, I feel like. So
yeah. Well, and I think what it comes down to really at, you know, just even from what we've shared, I think it's that we have to get convinced. We have to be convinced that there is no stigma, that this is the best business opportunity out there, that they would be dumb, legit dumb, to not spend $80 on this business. We're not going to tell them that. So don't think I'm training you to tell people that they're dumb. But like, we have to carry this presence of like, this is the best opportunity. There is no weird stigma. Whatever stigma people have, you guys, really a lot of that is our own internal dialogue. And the younger the age markets that we start to prospect, they don't have any word stigma about it. They don't have like concerns because it just makes sense on buying products this way and having a business this way. And so we have to really, and I think Lori and Terry, you guys kind of shared, we have to be able to paint that vision of what this offers before they can see it for themselves to drive the confidence for them to pay the $80 to get started. But I think that's just, that's one of the things I've been chewing on since the sign up went back to $79. It's not, I don't ever foresee Arbonne increasing it, to like a $300 or a $600 startup. But other network marketing companies do, like LuLaRoe leggings. You don't get started in that business, you all, unless you put down $45, $55, or $6,500. That is massive money. That is massive money. Okay. Obviously that's not a great business strategy or business sense, and we're not going to do that. But what I'm saying is people are saying yes to that opportunity. So again, it's just going back to, there are so many people, you all, that are waiting for someone to ask them to take a look at their business. And because we feel like it's like, if you have any sense that $79 is a lot, or like, I know why people would struggle with that, we've got to really mentally work through that belief. Okay. As a team, we've got to work through that belief. And then we just come up with all kinds of opportunities for them to get the $80. If they're like, I got $14 in my paycheck, I don't have $80. We say, oh my gosh, no problem. Let's find a Saturday and you can do a yard sale. Who can you babysit for 4 hours and you can make $80? Who can there's all kinds of opportunities and ways people can scoop up, or let's do a party with them and let them have all the commissions and they'll make $100. And then that'll go towards their sign them up after their first party. There's all kinds of ways, but I think we as a team, we've got to get really grounded, confidence, unshaken in our belief that this business opportunity is absolutely worth every penny of that $79. Okay. Because if we do, we will share with people like we did when it was $39. Lori, what did you want to say?
I was just going to ask with that question, because I'm still amazed at the response of the ask. A lot of times they just say, "Oh, I don't have the money to invest," and so in that my ask verbiage, obviously, the goal is just to get in front of them, right? To not go there. But I found myself, it's so hard for me to say, if you don't have the, portraying across, I guess, and maybe it's not this place to do it via text, but how many people that say they can't do a business right now because they don't have the money?
Yes.
And so, which makes me want to say, then you really need to do this business. Just meet with me, right?
Say that. And I think that we need to be bold in saying that to people and saying, you know what? That is exactly why you need to give me 20 minutes to look at this business. And really, we don't have, nobody in this group has a Debbie Neal personality, but there's something about Debbie. It's not her personality. It is her level of conviction with this business that she is confident to tell people when they say, I don't have the money to get this business started, then you say, that's exactly why you need this business. I didn't have $500-$600 to put into this business. I was living in a 1-bedroom apartment. Sonny was working at Starbucks. I was making, average area manager monthly income. I didn't have that money, but I knew that starting a business required an investment. And I knew that when you start a business will make money. Spending $80 at the movies, spending $80 at Target, spending $80 to take my family out to dinner was never going to make me money. And at the very worst, people get their money back, and you guys can confidently promise people that if they are willing to do what you tell them to do, you can teach them how to earn every dollar back that they put into this business. And then if after that point they don't want to keep doing the business, that is totally up to them. But there is full confidence that if they will do what we tell them to do, they can earn every dollar back, and then everything after that is profit. So I think it's just that idea, not to kind of belabor the point, but I think it's just amping up the asking, the 20-minute appointments, in the parties, in our text to people and just saying, I'm looking for 3 people this month that I can partner with in this business, and you keep coming to mind, or I'd love to have 20 minutes of your time, or I'd love to share this with you. And when we do the 20-minute appointments, and people are like, I'm a 4 or a 3 or a 4, saying, oh my gosh, that's awesome. You can see the value of something like this. What questions do you need answered to get you to 5? Because I want you as a 5. I want them as a 5. I want everybody as a 5. Why would I not? Why do we not? Why do we want to leave people as a 3? We don't want to leave them as a 3. We want to get them to a 5. And so, it's just upping up those levels of kind of conviction. So a couple tips I wanted to give you guys on this is I really want to encourage you to amp up your self-talk. Okay. And maybe you're not doing a whole lot of self-talk, but I'm going to tell you it's time to amp up the self-talk. Self-talk is verbally saying it out loud so that you can hear it. Another tip is recording yourself on a voice memo, saying things, and then listening to, in your own voice, yourself saying positive affirmations. You want to speak life over yourself and your business. Things like, today I will attract and meet the very right person who wants my products and who is looking for this opportunity. I am going to meet somebody today that is going to see this opportunity for everything that it's worth. I get yeses when I ask for bookings and 20-minute overview appointments. People love to book parties with me. People love to buy the ASVPs from me because it is the best deal available. We have the best skincare line in the market. So all of those different positive affirmations that this business is worth every penny of $79. Okay. Those are the things that we want to be saying. So this is a little homework that you can choose to do or not because you're independent consultants, but I'm going to write down 10 sentences that I'm going to start saying every morning, every night. I'm going to carry them on a card, and I'm just going to be in the habit this week of really speaking those things over my business, over my life, and really continuing to retrain the brain on how we're thinking. Okay, so that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is for the next 7 days, turn off the radio or Sirius radio or whatever the radio things are that you can get in your car. Turn off your radio and turn off your TV and turn on your Learn and Burns, your SoundClouds, your audio trainings, or your books. And I know by who's on this call tonight, not many of you none of you probably spend much time doing lots of radio or lots of TV. But again, it's going back to kind of filling this tank, and you're just going to do it for 7 days to see if it starts to change, some of these thoughts that we need to get solidified, some of these beliefs that we really need as we're growing. You all are growing to area managers and VPs. Okay. To me, that's not even like, oh, I hope you all are. Like, you all are. In my mind, it's a done deal. So this is just part of training that brain, because we can't operate from an empty tank. If we don't have these things poured into us, just like God's word, we can't pour it out to other people. So if we don't have the confidence solidified, if we have the, kind of internal battle a little bit of like, oh, I know it, network marketing is kind of sketchy, or people still don't get it. If we have any of those kind of internal programs, we've got to really change those. And those get changed by reading other people's success stories. They get changed by listening to the SoundClouds. Like I've listened to Lisa Voorhees' SoundCloud from 2 weeks ago on Go for the Gold. I don't even know how many times, because it was all about just taking responsibility for your business, and her, just the way she trains is very good. It's very clear. It's very concise. And so, it's just really important to do that. This does not replace your income producing activity time. Okay. So you can't spend the next 7 days just doing your 10 to 15 hours of RBAM being like, I'm just growing personally, lots of personal development, but just there's times when we're, we choose the radio, or we choose TV, or we choose a movie, and I'm just going to, or choose, Netflix or Amazon or whatever. And I'm just going to encourage you guys, instead of choosing those things for 7 days, just choose trainings, a book, personal development, and really just start to see how it helps your business in the next 7 days. The last 2 things is relaunch yourself every week. Okay. If you don't like what your calendar looks like for the next 4 weeks, then just relaunch yourself. reach out to another 20 to 30 people or follow back up with some that haven't gotten back to you, and be committed to get 10 20-minute appointments on your calendar. It's going to start there. If you're in a place where you're like, I got some big goals and my month's not necessarily churning along like how I want to right now, then you want to just get after the activity that is going to start moving you toward the results that you want, which are the 20-minute appointments. So you just need to ask enough to get to 10, and then book 2 to 4 group presentations. Okay. I'm going to recommend that those get done, obviously, sooner than later, before the end of this month. There's plenty of time to do that. We've got 17 days. Okay, so just be relaunching yourself unless you're launching a new person. But even when you're launching a new person, you can always be relaunching yourself. And then the last tip is just every night, just write down 6 income producing activities that you're going to do for your business tomorrow. That can be putting samples in the mail. I was sharing with a couple of girls, in an accountability call that we have, that I'm not very, I'm needing to really work on the skill of doing a 20-minute appointment with someone and then getting the sample in the mail that day or the next day. Sometimes I'll have gaps of 3 or 4 days, and I'm driving around with samples in my car, and I'm like, I got to get these samples out, or just being very intentional of, I need 2 more parties on my calendar for May. So doing whatever it takes, offering whatever free product I need to get those bookings on my calendar. Or I, need to fill 5 more 20-minute appointments. So doing, again, whatever it takes, kind of carving out that time. But having that list of those 6 income producing activities before you go to bed will help really get you set up and prepared for your day, so that you can be the most productive. Okay, so just kind of wanted to give you all those tips. And then the last thing, as we prepare for kicking off the Take the Stairs book that we're going to go through over the next 7 weeks, I think it's not only going to be really helpful, but it's going to help just kind of engage, some of the consultants as leaders on the team to kind of head up the discussion. There is a survey that I'm going to post on the team page that I would love everybody to take. It's a 40-point survey. I did it this afternoon. It's really easy, but the results that you get and then the description, I thought for me were very accurate. And I didn't score nearly as high as I would like to on that test. When it came out, I was like, oh gosh. So what I'm excited about is going through the book, retaking the test, and just seeing that improvement. But the test is super insightful. I think it gives people good feedback on where there's opportunities to grow in the realm of focus and, kind of implementing the self-disciplines that it's required. Because this business is very simple, where the, quote unquote difficulty lies is just in those small decisions and in that self-disciplining of our time and our choices to continually and consistently do the next right thing for our business. So is there anything that you guys have comments on, want to share on, or anything? I'm kind of done with what I wanted to share with you all tonight. Good. Okay, so I'm going to stop the recording.